Hey everyone, it's Val the Voice Johnson, and it's another edition of Interludes Extra Presents Talk on Tuesdays. That's what we're doing. We're getting ready to talk and get ready to, I don't know, revive and have some fun on this wonderful Tuesday. I cannot believe we are already 19 days into November and we are transitioning to the holiday season very, very quickly. Well, if we're going to do that transition, ladies and gentlemen, we have got to make sure that we let you know what is cool, what is happening, and what is going to be exactly showing streaming near a theater or screen near you. Oh my gosh. But I'm excited to guys that you guys are joining us. I'm Val the Voice Johnson. I'm an author, I'm a master podcaster, and of course, a producer and host of this particular platform. Interlude Section presents Talk on Tuesdays. But before we get going, I say let's go ahead and what? Roll the credits. Here we go. Woo, 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 woo. Hey everyone, it's another edition of Interlude Section presents Talk on Tuesdays. Oh my gosh. Welcome, 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 welcome. And of course, we want to let you know what we got going on here. Key Spot is one of our affiliate partners. Connect, share, and grow. You know what? They have an upcoming business networking meeting that's going to be happening this coming Thursday. It's every third Thursday of the month. And of course, for if you have a small business and it's the holiday season right around the corner, you probably want to come on through and do your thing. What? What? So connect with Key Spot. We'll go ahead and place that information in the chat. And then a DJ saved my life. It is the ebook called And a DJ Saved My Life and How Music Gave Me a Purpose and a Voice, and a forward by my writing mentor, Monique Lisa Johnson. The ebook is available now along with merch. I have got to remember to put the merch by me. I just bought the mug and I have a tote bag as well as a t-shirt. We're adding sweatshirts and other things to it eventually. If you guys are in the chat, go ahead and give me a shout, but scan that QR code if you'd like to check out the ebook. And of course, the printed ones are coming very, very soon. And then of course, patreon.com/interludes. It's where we do all of our fun behind the scenes things that happens. And of course, if you like what you see, go ahead and hit the like button and share the love and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you have not subscribed to it. But of course, join us over at the Patreon and you guys can check us on out, which is always exciting. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, I guess you guys are wondering, where's Coach? Well, Coach is actually coaching a basketball game. He's going to join me a little bit later, but I definitely want to get into this conversation of what is it to do, or what are some of the fun holiday films or things to watch. And I got a chance to check out a few things over the weekend. This weekend was quiet for me, but I'm grateful for that. I don't know about anybody else, but I don't know if you're like me. Next week represents Thanksgiving. That's right. I don't know about you, but next week is going to be a busy week for many of us. We're either cooking, we're either flying, or we're traveling to go to somewhere. Let us know what you're doing, and let me go over here to the chat and see what you all are doing, of course. And of course, Queen April's in the building. Grand Rising and greetings, Val the Voice. Good to see you. Bruce Smith, good to see you, one of our moderators on Facebook as well. And of course, thank you so much for being able to join us. We really appreciate all of that. And like I said, it's just a fun time. It's Thanksgiving. It's time to give thanks. That's what we're going to be doing. But I always give thanks to what? The new Christmas holiday movies. How many people are crazy about Christmas holiday movies? I know I am. Did you know as early as October, newer Christmas holiday movies started streaming on October 31st? Did you guys know that? That that's the date of Halloween. Am I thinking about Christmas on Halloween? Well, the folks over at Netflix are. They're thinking about you and they're loving you for joining them on Netflix. Now, of course, I don't know. Is how many people are fans of Petonics? They are a singing quartet group. They are phenomenal, and this wonderful Christmas movie, which is called Meet Me Next Christmas. It's starring one of my favorites, Christina Milian and Duvall Ellis. You guys know him from Sisters and a few other things. And then, of course, oh my gosh, Rusty Culdiff. He directed a couple of films back in the day. And of course, this is the singing group Petonics. I mean, they sound phenomenal. And of course, all of them have separate speaking roles, which is wonderful. So who makes up Petonics? That's Scott Hoying. Oh my gosh, Brandon Morgan. And of course, who was the other young lady? I mean, just it's really wonderful. So anyway, this is one of my favorites of when we do these things where they kind of wrap the story around one person that's desperately trying to get to this concert. But because why? She's a major fan of the group. And of course, who is this? We have Kristen Milian starring as Layla, and then she has who is this? Someone that's going to help her get the tickets to see Petonics. This is one of the fun things, and of course, Duvall Ellis, he plays Teddy, but of course, she's totally unaware of what is happening between the two of them. Fun things that happen on a lot of these Christmas movies are the romance that happen, which is really cool. And then, of course, and I said, Rusty, thank you so very much. He is a great director. He did a film back in the 90s called Sprung. So when I saw his name on the opening credits of this movie as a director, I was like, oh, this is fun. And Bruce says, I don't care what anyone says, but to me, the first Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Well, there's some people that would disagree with you, Bruce, but you know what? I saw Christmas well represented in that classic with Bruce Willis and Reginald VelJohnson of Family Matters. I don't know if you guys remember that he was there, but of course, the chemistry between these two generate as she's trying to get tickets to see her favorite singing group. And they are playing at a theater in New York, the iconic New York City. Oh my goodness! But I had a good time checking this particular Christmas thing out, and of course, you guys know Kofi Soburi. He plays James, and of course, a lot of you all, if you know Queen Sugar, of course, you recognize him. He is the love interest that our Layla is chasing after, but she decides not to chase him because they make an agreement that if they're still not with anyone a year later, they're going to meet each other at this theater with Petonics playing, and they're going to get together. And I was like, wow, this is a unique. I feel like every holiday movie kind of follows the same type of formula, which is really wonderful. So I say, if you guys, this is currently streaming on Netflix right now. Meet Me Next Christmas. And of course, this is really a fun one. And of course, it's probably got a fun soundtrack because of Petonics, which is really, really cool. And so I was really happy to see that. And, you know, I feel like Christina has been in a lot of Netflix films as of late. They all fall into that same Hallmark Lifetime. Keep things simple, Nothing too stressful. Your children could sit down and watch this with you, which is always wonderful. Your children or grandchildren at that point. Another film that's coming to Lifetime, one of my favorite singers, gospel singers, BB Winans. Of course, if you all are fans of BB and CC Winans, did you know that they could act? There's a lot of actors in the Winans group, and I'm saying the Winans family. And of course, they have a film that's out right now that just started streaming on Lifetime called We Three Kings. Now I'm thinking, okay, I want to start chiming right into the song and get right into it. But it's like, no, let's not do that. This is directed by Robert Atuli and written by Mr. Stewart. And of course, this stars Lisa Berry, Jamie Kalika, and then of course Deborah Joy Winans. I know you all recognize that name as well. I think that's the niece of BB Winans, and of course a few other folks, Jamie Kalkella, and then also Romeo Miller. That's little Romeo, if you guys don't remember who he is. But of course, they come together. There's three sisters. Last name is King, and they are fighting over their dad. And the dad is obviously played by BB Winans. But then something happens to him and his health, and the sisters are forced to come together to be and to help the father. But the father's kind of kicking back as Lincoln King, and he wants his daughters to come together and celebrate the holiday season. You know how it is. You want your family to come together, but you just keep going wang, 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 wang. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for that, Queen April. She says she loves the Winans. And of course, I don't know if you guys remember the song that they were popular for. A friend, friend of mine and yours. That's one of my favorite songs, I think, produced by Teddy Riley. But that's when all of the brothers, the Winans brothers, used to sing together back in the mid to late 80s. But of course, that's BB with Deborah Joy Winans, who a lot of people know her from the show Greenleaf that came on OWN. But I'm looking forward to seeing this particular film because, like I said, this is something, like I said, those are the three sisters that are going to be battling for the affection of their father. And of course, hey, I see Mr. Springer is in the building. Shout out to Val, the voice to keep shining. I just got that. I understand what that means. Oh my gosh, what a hilarious thing. And so, like I said, this seems like a very good film to check out. This is available on the Lifetime Network, and you guys can go ahead and check it out. It's called BB Winans, We Three Kings. And so I'm looking forward to seeing this film and seeing it because, like I said, the brand new holiday films, they are coming at you at every level. They're coming from all networks, all streaming services. You will get your Christmas fill in. And just like Bruce who said that, hey, the Bruce Willis film of Die Hard will always be a Christmas movie in his mind. You all don't mess with Bruce. He said that's going to be his movie. I don't know about anything else, but that's going to be his. One last one I want to mention because there's a whole lot more that are coming out. Another one that is hitting BET Plus. I was told about this one. Style Me for Christmas. You guys know the singer Mario. Oh my goodness. I was thinking to myself, oh yes, I've seen him act in a few things. Mario, the singer, has been in a couple of series, and one of the ones I remember him being in was one of the Fox ones, I believe. And Style Me for Christmas, that is hitting, I think that hit BET Plus over the weekend as well. There was a premiere that happened with that, and of course, this stars Mario, another I think influencer and rap artist, Pretty V, and Raven Goodwin. A lot of you all, if you don't remember her, she was the sister to Gabrielle Union in the film, in the TV series that came on. And let me see if I can remember that real quick. I like when my brain goes blank, but it's the series that both her and Gabrielle Union starred in. Being Mary Jane. I knew it would come to me. But Raven Gowen is the main person in here. She is a stylist. And the mother of Mario is kind of playing to type. He is a R&B singer, very popular, but he's a ladies' man, according to what I saw from the preview. And with that, his mom was like, we've got to change your image. You can't just keep staying this way. And with Raven playing Tiffany, she has a styling company, but easy come, easy go with the money, easy come, easy go with some of the things that happen regarding what? Oh my gosh, we got to stay employed. And it looks like her and her partner in this, Pretty V, who plays Rhea, they're fighting for their life to make sure we got to keep styling. And then the mother calls of Mario's TD Maxwell, that's his name in the movie. He's a popular singer, and says, we need you to come over and style Max. And then something happens. And of course, you guys can fill in the blanks with that. Now, I love this. This is a scene from the movie featuring Raven and Mario, but good friends of mine, Delano and his wife, Monique Lisa, they got a chance to see this film. And they got a chance to see it over this past weekend. And this is them, if you see it to the side, taking a picture with Raven Goodwin. They got a chance to see the screening of it, which is really, really cool. And Monique Lisa, who is my writing mentor, this was fun that they shared that they got a chance to see the film, a stream right there. And of course, I see that Bruce talking about Rusty Culdiff. Sprung was a great movie with Tisha Campbell, Paula Jai Walker, Joe Torre, and the late John Witherspoon. Thank you so much, Bruce, for that reminder of that. And of course, April says, I love holiday films. They are a distraction from all the noise. Can I get an amen on that? And like I said, I'm looking forward to this particular film. This is now streaming on BET Plus, not the regular BET. You got to pay the premium for this one to check it out. But of course, Style Me for Christmas. These things. This film is hitting BET Plus. I think it's already there, and you guys can go ahead and check it out. And like I said, I liked Raven Goodwin when she portrayed the sister to Gabrielle Union in Being Mary Jane, which was a prominent series that was active on BET. But like I said, it's been really fun or whatever. But it's time to go ahead and kick into the conversation that I want to talk about, which is the documentary, The Honorable Shyne. But we'll do that after these messages, and you guys hang on, and we'll go ahead and we'll come right on back and talk more about the documentary, The Honorable Shyne, talking about Moses Shyne Barrows. Be right back.
Are you a small business owner looking to grow? Introducing the Key Spot mobile app. I'm Cynthia McAllister, owner of the IT company Quality SAP. Since 2016, we have been supporting small businesses and help them promote and share their businesses, services, and events across the country. Key Spot is more than just an app. We are a network providing community. Key Spot, connecting communities and supporting small businesses.
Hey, it's your main man, right back at you. Coming live here from the Rise Studios. And it's your guy talking about what? Pull Up Podcast Show. What is the Pull Up Podcast Show? It's a brand new podcast hitting your airways nationwide, talking everything on sports, from baseball, basketball, hockey, and then I tell you, we're going to have a lot of fun. So make sure, if you want your questions answered, you want to have fun talking a lot of sports, make sure you pull up on me, because it's the Pull Up Podcast Show.
It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up, pull up.
Also, for those that want to learn a little bit more about this right here, oh yeah. That right there, that's the Rise, NIL, talking name, image, and likeness. Those having opportunities, getting paid, you want to tune in to it.
show. Let's go. It's the Pull Up Podcast show. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. It's the Pull Up Podcast. Pull up. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the chit chat. And of course, he is now joining us. Coach Tony is in the building. Hey, Coach, how you doing?
In the building. April, I just talked to you. Hey, by the way, I know Val was giving y'all tips, but if you holler at your boy, Coach Tony, you can watch a lot of stuff on the 5-stick, but for promotional purposes only,
here we go. Here we go. Oh my goodness.
Coming up for a tough night tonight, Val. I mean, I gotta apologize to you. Opening night for me tonight, so my voice is, I just finished yelling at a group of girls. So tough game tonight. Send a big shout out to my basketball team, St. Cecilia Academy High School here in Nashville. Took a tough loss tonight, but it's the first game of the year and we'll build back, we'll come back. But I left the gym and I told the girls, I said, hey, whatever you do, hurry up, because I got a show to do. Because I had to get, Val, we got to give the people.
Got to give them what they want.
Got to give them what they want.
Finish it
I thought you was gonna finish that for me,
I'm multitasking over here. I'm multitasking. You know how that goes.
The show just turned up by 20 degrees. Now we about to get crunk up in here. And we about to talk about my boy Shyne. Earl Shyne.
Yeah, I literally introduced that before. But before we go to Shyne, I definitely want to give us a heads up about Mike Brown, your interview on yesterday.
First of all, not only a shout out, everyone that's on the show tonight, pass the message, go to the website, purchase an item, share with your friends, and support those 5 things. www.hoopculture.com. Very simple. hoopculture.com. Coach Brown, like myself, was in the coaching game, was happy to be at an event, wearing one of his personal shirts. And Val, right there, I'm going to start doing the same. And a kid came up to him and asked him, man, I like the name of that shirt. Where can I buy one at? And the very next day, the brand was born. He told Val and I, He just kind of took that and he launched the brand off of a request from one kid. The rest is history. $50,000 as a put-up startup. And now they're pushing somewhere about almost 350, almost $500,000 in about 9-10 years. So the hoop culture is basically a lifestyle for young basketball athletes. And it's cool. It's kind of like slides, as old folks call them, flip-flops, right, Val? But slides, young cats call them slides. And Coach Mike Brown is been a good friend of mine. He's been great. And Val, I didn't tell you, after the show was over, we communicated today and I sent him my information, and he is producing some apparel for my basketball team. We're going to support him this year and wear it on the sideline.
Woo. Woo. Yeah, he really thanked us for highlighting him and hoop culture on the platform. So I wanted to make sure to give extra shout out and a thanks to Mike Brown for joining us of hoop culture. And of course, he has a wonderful event that's coming out this coming weekend. That is going to be at the Big House? What's it called?
Exactly. It's going to be at the Big House in Orlando, Florida. 7 courts. And they've got close to 70 basketball teams coming in, 70, Val. And these teams pay somewhere in the ballpark between $500 and $600. So you do the math on 500 times 70 teams. That's a nice little check for a weekend.
So like I said, major thanks and major kudos to Mike. I guess he's going to be doing his thing like that. But let me stop sharing for a second.
And those that looked up real quick, when we talked, Val, what did he say? We only touched on like a smidget of what he wanted to talk about. So we're definitely going to have him back as his company grow and as we do some things. Major followers, we want to definitely do that. We're going to talk to, hopefully down the road, some kids and some players that he's dealing with. So I'm glad we got a solid relationship with Coach Brown.
Now, I want to make sure that
the elephant in the room.
No, there's no elephant. There's no elephant. There's no elephant. I'm not going to even reduce anybody down to anything like that. But I definitely wanted to talk about this. Now, of course, we have been, and it's been touch and go. We have done a couple of episodes on what has happened with Shyne Diddy Combs. And the only reason why we mention this is because now Shyne has just released this brand new documentary that's on Hulu called The Honorable Shyne. And you guys are probably wondering, no, he's a rap artist. Well, why is he coming out talking about honorable? What's so, he's like dressing in suits now. What's going on with him? A complete transformation. And yes. Coach, when I watched this documentary, I have to tell you, I got emotional a couple of times watching it. Now, from what you remember about Shyne and Bad Boy, let us in on what you remember.
First of all, when as a DJ and as a hip hop artist, I love the music. I remember when this young man came out, and you and I kind of talked about that a little bit today. The voice and his voice reminded me so much of Biggie. That at the time that I was spinning records in college and coming through, it was like, wow, you had to really listen and focus because you thought some of the music that he put on, Val, you thought you were listening to Biggie Smalls. And it was absolutely incredible. And one of the biggest hits that he had dropped at the time in the early 90s was a hit called Bad Boys. And no pun intended and no spin on the words, but Bad Boys. And it was a major hit.
I'm sorry, Coach. The song got released in 99.
Okay, it meant 99. Okay. Well, the crazy part about it was the song was a major hit. But if you go back and listen to this brother's journey, it's amazed that the journey took him to jail. And he comes out of jail, one of the most articulate young men you can listen to. And he's now running for one of the most presumptuous positions in the state that you can even go for in Belize. And absolutely amazing, Val. Amazing.
Yeah. And I have to say, when I watched, and it was a couple of interviews that he has done, because keep in mind, Hulu is Disney. So that's the mouse. That's Mickey. So Hulu is in conjunction with this. We have, and let me make sure that I have this right, Marcus A. Clark, who directed the film. And I have to say, when watching this, I was thinking, this is something that was very, what am I trying to say? Just mind blowing to me, mind shift. I'm trying to figure out where my pictures are right here. Okay, but like I said, this is some of the things that I was hoping when I thought about Shyne, and when I thought about some of the things that that he's done as an artist. I was like, wow, this is something interesting. And here's the thing with him being with Bad Boy, because he signed with him, there was a bidding war over him according to the documentary, there's a bidding war over him. And the fun thing, and before we even get into that, his mom left Belize. He was born in 78. Right. So they left Belize in like 83. Yeah, 83. She left and came to live with, I think, her brother, because it was the uncle. And they did everything they could to keep him grounded. He had mentioned, and this was from an interview that both Shyne as well as his mom did. Let me see, his mom, Frances Franklin. The thing that was very interesting to me was that he wanted to rap. He told his mom what he wanted to do. And she says, look, two of the biggest rappers just got killed. Why do you want to do that? Go to school. Just focus on and just go to school. And what he ended up doing was taking a job as a messenger, and anyone that he thought knew anyone in the music industry, he would say,
anyone who looked like they were in the music industry and they said they were.
He busts out with a rhyme. So he was someone that went after what he wanted. And like I said, the thing that got me emotional was the groundwork that the filmmaker Marcus Clark puts together. Like he lays it out like that. You're looking, you're like, okay, so this is kind of the buildup. You find out about his father, who is a former prime minister. Let me see if I can get his name here. The father's name is Dean Barrow. He's a former prime minister in Belize, and he was engaged to be married.
And a DJ. Don't forget that.
Didn't know that. Okay, he was a DJ too, but he was a former prime minister and was about to get married, and just allowed his Shyne's mom said, look, I'm leaving. I'm not staying here in Belize. I want to make a better life for the family.
Yes.
And so, yeah. And with that being said, now you fast forward to 97, 98, he started performing, and a lot of people, caught ear to what he was doing. And he was going in the direction of, this was really good. One of the DJs most famously got him in to see Jay-Z. And so he asked, he went up to Jay-Z and asked him, when he got in the room with him, do you have a gun? And right. Jay-Z's like, is this your guy? I don't know. Oh, this your guy? And he's like, yeah. Well, if I'm not any good, then shoot me. And so he went to rap to him, and then and Jay-Z was like, oh, okay, you good. But at that point, it ended up being kind of a bidding war. What is it? Def Jam, and then one or two other ones. But he was one of the first artists at Bad Boy to sign with $1 million, with $1 million bonus, and and have kind of the rights to his music, because Puff wasn't rolling like that. But there was a lot of things happening in the background. You might as well say that he was coming on in the middle of this. Now, what was his former stage name before it became Shyne? What was his name just before he signed with Bad Boy? You remember?
You might have to help me out with that one.
I think his name was Mo Shyne. Is that what you was telling me earlier?
Yeah, Mo Shyne. Yeah. So I'm gonna pick up on a little bit on this. So we can go back. We can almost attach this to multiple industries: basketball, football, some baseball guys, definitely hip hop industry. And we were talking earlier about when you're coming from the hood and you're trying to make it up that ladder. Most people, they don't recognize the power of saving and the financial power of putting back. When we get that, we're so elated. All we know is spin, because we figure we'll get it again. And this young man was having a bidding war over him, so he figured, I'm hot. He was driving around in the 90s with a $500,000 and $600,000 car, pulling up in the street and throwing 30, 40, 50,000 in the air. And whoever wanted to pick up the money, they picked it up. He didn't care. Stuff like that, because he was a bad boy. He was that. And when you're looking at that, it's only a matter of time. Because the one thing he forgot about was taxes. So that meal piece, right? So that we gotta do right. That meal piece automatically became 600,000. And then there's a little homie that's a kinfolks to taxes named FICA. FICA gonna get his, right? And then after FICA get his, your managing company, which at that time was Bad Boy, they gonna get theirs back. Then if you got your marketing company, you got to pay them a little piece, and definitely you got an attorney in case something happens. So that meal
Mm-hmm.
piece may roll all the way down to a high price, high paid executive where you no more than worth than 150 to 200,000. So
Right.
if you go out and buy a $600,000 car and you worth 200 stacks, you 400 in the hole already. And
Mm-hmm.
that then admonish. But what really got me more than anything, Val, was the fact of the matter that on the Breakfast Club interview, in the documentary, and a few other things, and as I remember it, people thought that this was the second coming of Biggie Papa because of his voice.
Right.
Now,
Right.
I don't know you. I'm going to ask you a trick question before I give it to you. Do you have a top 5 Shyne list? Because if not, I'll give you mine.
I'm gonna have you give you yours.
Okay. For those that are by the internet, you want to Google whatever. My top 5, matter of fact, my top 4, because the top one is today is number 5. But more or less, he talked about in that song, more or less, basically getting the money, Val. You got
Mm-hmm.
more, but when you finish everything that you got to do, you end up with less. And he spitted those bars out and talked about that. And then he had a hit single. My third one was he named it out to himself called Shine. That one came out a little bit later in the early 2000s, and that was really good. Then he then tried to come at Jay-Z when Jay-Z dropped Look for Me, Lost My Skin, Bunny and Clyde. He came out with Bunny and Shine. And that was a
Wow.
play on words to go at Jay-Z because he wanted to sign with Rockefeller, but Rockefeller hadn't advanced to that level. And then the number one song of all is the one that you and I discussed today, and that is Bad Boys. No play on words to Bad Boy Entertainment, but it was Bad Boys. And that blew up, and that made the money, and that made everything he needed. But it still wasn't good enough, Val, to keep him from behind that 10 by 10.
Yeah. And the one thing that, and this is, he's been on like a publicity tour for the last, I want to
Like a
say,
world
2
tour,
weeks.
like Tribe Called Quest said. I'm on a world tour with my mic and my man.
He's been on pretty much a tour. And the one thing that I would say throughout this entire process, what happened with him when he went to jail, his mom was one of the people that was in his corner, Frances
Right.
Franklin. And one thing that I admired about her is that she, and this was an interview that they both did on the Tamron Hall show. She said that she was so scared for him when he went behind bars. And for the one thing that got me emotional when watching this documentary is how Marcus Clark, he sets up, just kind of, okay, this is the background, and just kind of that Shyne characteristics, his characteristics for just being there for people. There was a story that was mentioned. Him and his mom lived in Brooklyn, and someone broke into an apartment, and he called himself, defending the apartment or defending his mom, and he ended up getting
Yeah,
shot.
shotgun.
Yeah,
Right.
that's right. He got shot. So the thing of it is that he backed away from that. He convinced his mom to move from that particular apartment building. But then when the incident that comes into play, which was the New York nightclub, that was December 27th, Gene Deal, who was a former bodyguard of Puff Daddy, who has been on a lot of YouTube channels talking about
Right.
everything that's been happening. He told Shyne, because Shyne was still, in the process of he signed the deal, and pictures had been taken with him, Puff, and Mace. So it was just kind of that. But the thing that I saw was that all of that buildup, and then I want to make sure that I go back to this, the performance that Shyne did with Puff Daddy as the BET Awards back in 2021. They honored him with this Lifetime Achievement Award, and it was a huge deal for Shyne to appear on stage with him. because Shyne had gone through a complete metamorphosis. He converted to Judaism. He not just not Muslim, Judaism. So he became a black Jew, if you want to be that raw with it. And he performed. They showed the performance, a little bit of the performance of Puff Daddy and him together. And he had talked about from a space of healing. He had forgiven everything that had happened. And it was told up until that point that his attorneys failed him and he went to jail. And then the music stops, Tony. The music stops.
It wasn't even that the attorney failed him.
I'm sorry. He walks into the room, he sits down, he looks squarely at the camera, and then the events that came out over the last year about Puff Daddy, thing that happened with Cassie, Puffy's things being raided, and he kind of looks at the camera without saying, I warned you guys, but none of you all paid attention to anything I said. He didn't say that, but a look said that. But his look said that. And I think that's what got me crying, because I was thinking, if people had listened to him, would any of these things happen? I'm wondering.
If they listened to Mace, none of it would happen. I love Shyne, Mace Tony, but I'm gonna rewind you about a couple of sentences back when you talked about the raided and breaking the house. Shyne wasn't no nice kid. Just don't get it twisted.
Of course.
He ran with that crew. But what amazed me was when you got a chance to get the money, he got the money. But he said he couldn't separate the streets, right, from the thugism. And then one of the other guys that he ended up being shootouts, who also got arrested in his time on some things, was Ja Rule. I was a big Ja Rule fan. And a couple other guys. And then here come DMX on the backside of this. And so he said by the time X hit, it was a wrap, because he had looked at everybody and he took it to a whole nother level. But Shyne was trying to make those moves, Val, at the time. And the problem is, the reason why he got caught the way he got caught, it was Puffy. And he didn't have the support or the know-it-all like Puffy did. So when it went down, it's like you and I, Val, trying to sue Facebook. If you ain't got Facebook's lawsuit money, then you might well go ahead and settle, because the lawyers are going to wear you out. And when he got the $1 million, he didn't know how to separate street from industry and smarts. And by the time he learned that, it was too late, because then he's taking the fall for everything that's going on, and then he went to jail. So it just go to show you young guys listen to the show, whether you're in sports, entertainment, business, whatever it is. Pay yourself, put up, stack for your future, then deal with everything else. And so if you got $100 and you got to do everything prior to it, that leaves you with $20 because you had to save 80, then you make do with that 20 till you can get 20 more. And that's what he didn't do or wasn't able to do. And if it wasn't for that #1 single, Val, and Bad Boys, he may have been a one-hit wonder, because everybody already thought he was trying to be the next Biggie anyway. And that's why, his boys, Junior Mafia, didn't like him anyway. So it was a big old twist going on in New York at the time. And it didn't help, Val, that you had an East Coast, West Coast thing that just came off of two of the biggest rappers getting killed.
Yeah, which would, depending on who you talk to, a lot of horrible accusations and assumptions, or accusations are being tossed around about did Puffy actually set up Biggie to be killed. That is a horrible thing to state, because of you remember the song "We Miss You." This was a huge "Every Breath I Take," using the Sting song. Every
move I make. It also with Faith
Evans, and Faith Evans was featured in this documentary along with Little C's from Junior Mafia. He stated how that they came to blows at one point. But
Yeah,
when
but when he went to the yard, he looked out for him.
he looked out, he was just he did that. And the scary thing about it all is that now Shyne has come out. He Mo is not Mo Shyne anymore. It's Moses
It's
Shyne
Moses Shyne.
Barrow. Moses Shyne, and he went ahead and renamed himself. And one of his Jewish friends came to him because right after he came out in 2009, people were, according to the documentary and what he stated, he said he was coming out, he was releasing raps here and there, and some of them were coming at Puffy, some of them were coming at a few other people, and they were like, it's kind of just unorganized. There was a couple of video, and I was shocked that he put this in the documentary, where Charlemagne the God from the Breakfast Club, along with a few other, were criticizing the music that was coming out. Big Boy, him and another artist, The Game. They totally criticized, what is he doing? And they mimicked how he sounded. And I was like, wow. And he put this in the thing, but he said that he was not in a head space. And his friend reminded him, you're not a bad boy anymore. You're not a bad boy anymore. It's not you.
But on the back of that, Val, it was crazy because, again, as the Breakfast Club also pointed out, and he kept on saying it, the DJs, right? Because you and I both know we're DJs. Right. And if you're going to make a hit, you got to be into the DJs, because the DJs are the ones who are going to spin it record in the club. And at that particular time, that they all felt that he was a Biggie knockoff, which is why Junior Mafia didn't get a chance to get into him the way that they did. But you said something very interesting a moment ago, and that was he set up and he was doing things. He didn't say nothing. He didn't try to implicate Diddy. And he said he could have said a lot of stuff that got Diddy caught up. But the crazy part about it was, Val, Diddy had so much money. And at that time, you and I talked about that earlier. Outside of Def Jam and outside of a couple other labels trying to get going, including, now you got to look, we're on the backside of the fight between Death Row, Priority Records on the West Coast, right? My boy Nas had already made a diss track against Diddy at that time as well, and he had already told everybody in that song, and it was Illmatic, and it was crazy, that album. Right? You remember Illmatic? So he told everybody. So now you listen to Little C's, you listen to Illmatic, you listen to some of the stuff that Jay said, and then Shyne drops Bad Boys, and all of a sudden things go awire. All of a sudden Diddy started to do this and do that. So it became absolutely crazy. But one of the things I respected about him, Val, and you and I talked about this earlier as well, the young man didn't just sit in jail, Val. He went in and educated himself, right?
Wait, pronounce that again. What was that?
He went in and educated, right? He went in and educated himself in prison, because you have, as he said, 3 options. You could take school and class and get a degree. You could do nothing and learn janitorial service and you clean up all day, or you go cook, go in the kitchen, or you behave yourself and get on good duty and you can go outside and pick up paper along the highway. And of course, you and I have seen plenty of young men doing that with them yellow jackets on. So he decided to go to school, and man, did it pay off. You now walk out of prison, Val, after doing a bid, 10 on your head, and the first job you come out is not a janitor. It's not even back in the record industry. You come out for a prime minister job, the head of the state, to talk about giving back. And both you and I have both been to Belize. So
right.
Understand.
And what I was going to bring up, and I'll make sure I go ahead and put it back up here, is that I think it was reported that Puff gave him $150,000 in either 2020, 2021, one of those years. When he got out, he gave him 50 grand when he got out. And he said he looked at Puff like he was crazy. He was like, I just did 10 on my head
and all I was worth was 50 stacks.
Oh
All you could
yeah.
give me is 50 G's. Come on now.
Mhm. Yeah. So I with Shyne, as I wanted to make sure that I brought up this picture. This is directly taken from the documentary. He got educated and educated himself while he was
Yeah.
in jail and incarcerated. But here, this was him now coming into his new life as a in
As a
pursuit of
politician, as a
as a
politician.
politician. I think all families that I know on the planet have disputes and difficulties, and that's a part of a family. And I think you have to have the perspective, and you have to have the vision and the focus as to where you're going. I'm not trying to focus on people. I try to focus on myself. Once I heal and once I get clarity as to my purpose and my mission, then taking the baggage of yesterday with me is not practical. You can't move forward taking things from 23 years ago with you. Now, this is,
Right?
and then on the interview that he did with Tamron Hall in regards to, because a lot of people were kind of fighting mad, like, because eventually he states that, I was set up. He says it in a documentary and he said it in that
Right.
interview. And he says that someone's failure will not make me more succeed. And he was referring
Exactly.
to, talking about seeing what's happening with Diddy, because they said, I thought we were brothers. And he said, I wish he
Right.
had treated me like a brother, because unfortunately he didn't. He threw him under the bus.
Exactly. That's why you're talking about. And based on that statement, you know the old Negro spiritual song that go with that?
What song is
Um,
that?
I'm going up yonder. Right? Anybody ask me where I'm going?
All
Oh,
right, we singing, Coach. We singing, Coach.
I'll bring the church up in here because the young man, Val, you
Mhm.
just stated this young man, two things, right?
Mhm.
You didn't mention earlier. The young man got shot. So
Mhm.
he could have lost his life then.
You could have, yeah.
Correct. And God spared him for a reason. He spared him and he didn't listen. So he stayed in the game because he should have got out. So he stayed in
Right.
the game. He stayed in the game. And then when he stayed in the game, he cleaned himself up. But because he had been shot at, beat up, jumped into some fights and the whole 9 yards, he then has a couple of pieces on him because he didn't know what was going on. And now any black family that I know a lot of PWI, but any black family I know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that's got somebody who's sleeping on the couch.
That's right.
And,
And they're
right?
looking out for him.
Exactly. And they're not going to put him out. They're going to talk crazy to him. Val, I love you. Next week, you got to go. 2 weeks now, Val's still on my damn couch. So when you're looking at that and you trying to pull himself out, when this young man was tapped on the shoulder and he was given that big opportunity, he didn't understand, Val, it's time to get off the couch. Because when he got off the couch, he got into more trouble. And more trouble, unfortunately, it wasn't like Brother Freeman down here, the black political activist said we're in good trouble. Shyne got into bad trouble. And it was in trouble in a situation that when he got caught up, you remember when he said, who was he expecting to show up? He was expecting Diddy. And Diddy never showed up. As a matter of fact, for the 10 yards he did on his head in the box, Diddy only came one time. And the time that he did come, he was still a bitter Shyne. He spit in Diddy's face and told him, don't you ever come back. And they got into it. Maybe that's why he got 50 racks when he got out. Who knows?
Yeah, but here's the thing, and this is what we've now learned about Diddy as a person, or Diddy as because at first we didn't. I didn't know him. I didn't. Well, yeah, I don't personally know Diddy, but I'm just saying that speaks to the kind of character of. There's footage of him saying, "I had nothing to do with the shooting in this club." totally vehemently denying it. And in the documentary, I totally forgot about the case, but I do remember it. Johnny Cochran represented Diddy
Right.
in this case.
After coming out the back of OJ.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course, Shyne also stated that it seems as though his attorneys who appear in the documentary that, they didn't defend me to the point or vehemently. And then there were witnesses who were paid and turned
Yes.
to testify against him and to say that and literally Shyne even states in every interview that he currently does, we were there to defend ourselves. There was a gentleman that was getting out of they were at this bar getting ready to do something, getting ready to have a drink or something, and he did something against Diddy. It was like he went into protective mode because he thought of Diddy. He thought more of Diddy in that moment, saying, you know what, I'm going to protect you. I'm going to look out for you in the same way he did years ago for the people that broke into his apartment building. Like, I'm going to look out for you because I'm now pursuing my dream of music and I want to, but you know what, I'm going to defend you and have this gun. But he didn't throw away his gun and, he got caught up.
And the thing is, Val, on the one piece that you didn't add on there, and which is prevalent, is that he, like you said, was expecting Diddy to save him, not knowing that Diddy had already bought his lawyers. Imagine you get ready to go to court, Val, and you got a couple of public defenders, and they already bought before your case even come up. They he said the first day he walked into court, after the first day in court, they asked him to take a plea. Now, wait a minute, hold on, what? I ain't did nothing. And you asked me to take a plea already? So even if I plea out on the streets, I'm a snitch. They already trying to hit me. And then if I plea out, I still got to do time. And then it don't change anything. So where do I win in this? So this young man, Haitian, is coming into a whole scenario, a whole situation.
Yeah.
I mean,
and here's the thing. If push came to shove, Moses would have every right to go ahead and sue Shyne.
But if he gonna do it, he better do it right now while Bad Boy still got a little paper. Because here's where I look at it, Val. And you and I talk about this sometime. I've heard you make a remark many months ago about something. The man upstairs, he sees everything. He don't let evil get away with nothing if they're gonna end the day. So if you're doing evil things, it's just a matter of time. And he served his time and did it. And God said, you know something, son? You did your time, but it was kind of a wake-up call. You deserve this time, right? Because we know you did what you did. But you deserve this time because at the same time you were stupid. You got an opportunity to get, well, when I say stupid, I mean that he had an opportunity to get money. And he said himself, he had an opportunity, he got the money, he had the money. But he said it wasn't until he talked to what's old girl, the rapper he was trying to hang out with, and she was like, he wouldn't give her name up.
Okay.
He was like, she came in him and she just straight up checked him, chin checked him. She was like, you trying to come at me, and you talking about Diddy, and you talking about Ja Rule, and you in the streets doing this and that. What have you done? You ain't even made a hit record. And you sitting up here trying to come at people like you some big star. They just gave you upfront money. And anybody that know, anybody that gets upfront money, what's the bad part about upfront money, Val? It comes with a price tag.
It comes with a huge price tag. And I think
he didn't know that price tag at the time. And when she said that to him, he's like, damn. It was like a right across from Mike Tyson. Boom, boom. Well, not the 58-year-old Mike Tyson, but the old Mike Tyson.
but like I said, this film, I'm sorry, this documentary was very moving to me because for myself, it speaks to me as someone that when we say we should forgive someone, and no matter how tough it is to forgive that person, you do that so you can heal and move on. And
Yes.
he has completely healed and moved on because he is more focused on remedying and helping his people in Belize. And I
And did you
think
hear
his
the part that he
focus
said
is
that
good
then
right
he
there.
reached out to him and tried to get him a change? He just got out of prison, and Diddy reached out to him and asked him to be on his side.
Yeah. So, but the like I said, there's a lot of, and I can't give voice to any of them because a lot of them are not, a lot of the accusations against but Puffy
Right.
are not
Right.
confirmed. But
Correct.
I think his mother said it best when she was being interviewed by Tamron Hall about a week ago. She said that when Shyne went in, it was as if he was being protected against what was happening, especially in the
Right.
music industry, because as he tried to go back into it, they were like, "We're not accepting you," and that's fine because that pushed him into his destiny and working
Politics.
and doing politics. And I think that's what I found so emotional. And toward the end of the documentary, you see shadows of his family. You don't directly see their faces, and I think that's a way of him protecting their identities, which is very sweet. And so I say to you, Moses, as he's renamed himself, and that's a very strong name to name yourself. If you know what Moses went through in the Bible, and how he grew up as an Egyptian, but he was an Israelite. I think
Right.
that kind of that redemptive story that is attached to a biblical Moses is very similar to what Shyne has gone through, but a little bit more different, kind of like a Joseph in my mind, if I think biblical. But like I said, this is a very powerful documentary. If you have never seen it, it is currently streaming on Hulu, and I tell you guys, check it out. You will be seeing him. He is still on tour. He was on MSNBC yesterday. He was on a few other shows today. He was on the Breakfast Club on Monday. Like he is going around and he is promoting this documentary, and so I wish him the
It's not
best, and
changing
I
anything.
hope that he becomes the prime minister of Belize. Hmm.
And he's standing on his corner, Val, as the young folks say. He's standing on his corner. And what you just said is a couple things that speaks the truth. And that
Hmm.
is, here it is. God gave him that chance 2 times, right? One from a bullet wound, one from jail. So you can't strike out 3 times because I'm not going to give you a 4th trip. So he's making good on that. What impresses me more than anything, Val, is what you said. He didn't walk out of jail with hatred. He walked out of
No.
jail with hope, and he had a focus. And if rap wasn't it, no problem. At the same time, I'm going to do whatever I got to do for my people because that's the new movement for me. And if I can get the people, so this kind of reminds me, Val, when you go back and look, it's like the Bob Marley movement, right? And he
Hmm.
couldn't rally the people down in Jamaica to do everything he's got to do. That whole movement of the people and trying to get him in, and do what you got to do. The whole movement of Nelson Mandela, the early '90s when I wrote a big paper on apartheid and stuff that he was doing, and all these guys, they did some previous, they ended up in jail. They came out and tried to make a movement. And if you guys have not listened to this young man speak and the passion and
Hmm.
the forgiveness, and if we got the 47 in the house that's got 34 convictions, still run the White House, and then still trying to put people who also still got criminal cases of potential pornography and rape going in the house, and you got a situation where a young man right here has been incarcerated and coming out, and you can't give this support, there's something wrong with our society. And you got to understand when we don't even talk politics a lot, Val, but it
Hmm.
moves me because this young brother can not only come out and talk about the game, right? You can throw anything about the hip hop game and he can tell you about it. Why? Because he lived it. And
Hmm.
then the hip hop game got him in a 10 by 10 for 10, right? I'm about to play that tomorrow. 10 by 10 by 10. That's 30. I'm going to play that tomorrow for promotional purposes only. But but I love what Shyne has got to do. And now the one person, Val, that he worshiped is now reaching out for help. How ironic is that?
Well, all I know is that if you want to know the full story, and it's told from a healed individual. It's told
You only
from
can
a
heal to tell that
perspective.
story, Val. You gotta heal.
Yeah,
You
it's told. And he says that I can't go back into that pain of what it was to go through he said doing the documentary was very draining. But he said he said when he was interviewed a couple of times that when all of the charges came out about Diddy, it was like ripping, a wound that
But
had
you
been
had
healed.
respect for that person, Val. You had
Yeah.
love and respect for that person. And you like, I told you this a decade ago, right? I seen this young lady go on a shopping spree and the dude spend 5, 6, 7, 8, $900,000, when you trying to make up. But I seen this brother, have faith go ahead and spit out a hook because Biggie needed this and that. I seen such and such and such and such go on, and I had to just lay back and take mine. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, absolutely amazing. And again, those 4 records, Bad Boys #1, Bunny and Shyne, Shyne, and More or Less. If you hadn't listened to those tracks, take the moment, go listen to those tracks. He talks about everything that was going on at that time. Absolutely amazing.
All right. Next week, which is Thanksgiving week, we got
Yes.
the Pull Up Podcast show coming up. What you got coming up for us?
Besides a couple flying turkeys, we're gonna have some turkeys flying in the studio. So don't be surprised. I sit up here and you have a couple turkeys right off my shoulders. But we got Mike, Phil, my guys, from a product by the name of Hoop Analytics. Again, we've spoken to basketball, scouts, agent. We just spoke to a gentleman last night, Coach Brown, who's in the merchandising. We're now going to speak to a couple of guys who deal with the X's and O's, Val, of the game, who also help to promote and push. You know what we talk about? Women's sports.
Women's sports.
Women's
Yay!
sports is huge. So we're going to talk about that next week. So make sure you tune in Monday night, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. Now that the mountain didn't change, 7 Mountain and 6 Pacific. Don't meet me there. Get in your whip and beat me there.
It's the Pull Up Podcast show. We're always excited about.
Pull up on me, Val. You know that.
And of course, the audio podcast. I went ahead and took care of this. My thoughts on Madam President Deferred the morning after. I'm going to go ahead and place the link into the chat. It's my reflections on the 2024 election and the outcome and my hopes for our future. Lord help us, please. Okay, so now a DJ saved my life. I'm gonna need the DJ to come and save my life in 2025 against the plan. That sounds crazy. A DJ saved my life. It is the new book from your girl here, Val the Voice Johnson. It's available on purelighthouse.media.net. You want to go ahead and check it on out. Scan the QR code. And of course, we have merch. And I have a new web designer. I'm so excited. Oh my goodness.
Oh, man, I can't wait to see it. Because I'm your best hype man. Val the Voice. I'm your hype man. Like, yeah, boy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So go ahead and pick up a copy of A DJ Saved My Life, and that's available at purelighthouse.media.net. And of course, you can go ahead and scan the QR code. And then, of course, patreon.com. That is where you're able to do what? Come and get some behind the scenes that are happening at patreon.com/interludes. If you want to learn how to do your own podcast, I have a couple of clients I'm helping out right now so they can get
Okay.
their podcast released and ready for 2025. Man, what a
Big
great
Bruce, I
show.
see you out there, Big Bruce. We got to say what's up to Bruce, man. Bruce been rolling with us all night long, man. It's been great.
Mhm. And thank
What's
you,
up,
Queen.
April? What's up,
April.
April?
She says, great show. And we spoke with her a little bit earlier on another show, Business Tips and Tricks
I had
on
a
Clubhouse.
laugh at you guys this morning, Val. I look
Mhm.
forward now to getting up and getting on with you guys in the morning. You and all the queens. It has been great.
But we'll be back on next week and we'll see you guys very, very soon. But it is a close to Interludes Extra Presents Talk on Tuesday. We'll see you soon. Peace.